Hello, fellow stitchers, or people who are learning to stitch, or people who just like to watch stitching. My name is Cher Johnston. This is my happy place. Glad to have you here. I put these out. These are the colors that I'm going to be using today. I have 815 in my needle right now, 841, 312, 895, and 939. These are, I have about 100 of these floss bobbins with floss on them, and I want to get rid of them. So this is my, I'm going to scan this and put it on my Ko-fi site for you guys. You can get this on your computer. This is Blackadder ITC, and I think I made it, the font like 200 or something stupid like that. These are all the stitches that I thought of that you can use to do um, to do lettering or script or you know um, so I'm going to start off, and I'm going to do like, I'm going to start with a back stitch, then I'm going to switch to a stem stitch in the same stitch. So this is a back stitch. Start out here. I try to do this, you can see here, I tried to put dots in there for you guys. Yeah, you can't really use a dot grid with this because they're curvy lines. So the back stitch, you go back one stitch length and then forward one. I have 6 strands of embroidery floss here so that you can see more easily what I'm doing. Okay, back one and then forward one past that. So forward 2. We're going 1 stitch length past that. Then sometimes back one, forward 1 past there. And then sometimes I like to pull with my other hand, or with, just not pull from the needle. Now I'm gonna switch to, okay, here comes Kitty. Yeah, baby. Okay, sweetheart. Okay, she's gonna go the other way. All right. I'll try to put timestamps in this video. And put on the screen which stitch I'm doing so you can go back and look again. Now I'm going to switch to a stem stitch. Stem stitch is good. It's really good for curves. You want to go forward about that far. On camera I am. About that far. And then we're going to go back. I'm going to go back at like a half a stitch and pull through. Notice I'm pulling this direction, not this direction. It just looks neater. I'm going to go forward. I'm going to come back to that other, where that other stitch was, and pull through. Now, with a stem stitch, you want to make sure that your thread is either down or up or left or right. It doesn't matter which way it is as long as it stays that direction. I'm pulling this way. Now, you can also do the stem stitch Go forward a little bit further, take just a little bite out of the fabric, and pull through. And this makes sort of a thinner line. Now I'm going to continue my stem stitch until I get around this curve here. And I'm not going to follow this pattern quite exactly. Okay, now here I'm going to switch stitches. I'm going to start doing a chain stitch now here. I'm going to come back up just to the side of that, and I'm going to do a chain stitch. Chain stitch goes like this, where you go in, you can even go in the same knot, the same hole, come forward, wrap, I don't know if I'm on camera, and pull through. Again, in the same space, come forward, 1 stitch length, wrap, and pull through. I'm going to the right of where it came out, go back up, and then I'm going to wrap to the left. You see that? I'll show you what happens when you wrap the wrong way. If I go on the left-hand side of that stitch and I wrap this direction, you're going to get a twisted chain stitch. We don't really want that. And now I'm gonna, maybe I should add that one to my list. Because you could do a twisted chain stitch. And I'm also going to do lots of other things besides those ones that I have listed there. I'm going to do one more chain stitch. Then we're going to do a Portuguese knotted stem stitch. So I'm going to keep my thread up to the top. I don't know why I'm going to the top now and not the bottom. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to do 1 stem stitch just to kind of get started. Then I'm going to do 1 more. And remember, you're pulling this direction, not this. Now, See back here where I have those two overlapping stitches? I'm going to put the eye of my needle up there and go through once and twice. And then I'm going to continue with the next stem stitch. And then again, back here, where you have those two overlapping stitches, go through once and twice. And again, there's my stem stitch. And then I'm going to go back here and go up once and again. And then do another stem stitch. And then go up one time and again. Kind of pretty, huh? Right. Now I'm just going to finish this with a stem stitch. I don't know if I have enough thread to get all the way around. So we'll just see what happens here. Again, I want this thread above my needle. We're playing thread chicken. All right, now I need to go to the back. And then I have to somehow end that off. I'm just going to leave that for right now. Okay. Now we're going to do some Palestrina knots. So with Palestrina knot, imagine a line here in the center. I'm going to go below the line, above the line, make a little stitch. Then I'm going to go under that stitch and pull this direction. And then you get a little Y. See the Y? Now I'm going to put the thread around this way so that I'm make a loop. I'm going to go under the side of that Y and go through the loop to make a knot and then pull through. Okay, again, little stitch. Just a little bite out of the fabric. Then I'm using the eye of my needle. I'm going to go up, pull this direction. So we have that Y there. See the Y there? Loop the fabric around. I'm going to go up through that bottom leg. Make sure the the thread is looped. And then pull. I don't want to tighten my knot too much. Again, little bite out of the fabric, pull through, And you can either take a screenshot or a photo of each one of these steps, or just a little video if you want, or just come back and watch the video again and again. Don't mind. All right. That one I may have gotten a little too tight, but hey, it's fine. I'm gonna probably do 2 more here. A little bite out of the fabric. I'm gonna go up this way with the eye of the needle. Pull this direction. So I have a Y. Through the bottom of the Y, loop the thread. So it's gonna knot and pull through. Do one more. Whoops. Not yet. Now you can do these really close together or farther apart. There's my Y. I'm going to go up here. I forgot to loop it. I'm going to go through that loop. I'm thinking 2 steps ahead, which is just stupid at this point. Okay. At this point, I'm just going to go down to the back, and I'm going to come up over here, and I'm just going to do a little a couple little straight stitches for that crossbar. Then I'm going to come down here, and let's do a fly stitch. So I'm going to start my fly stitch with just 1 straight stitch here, and I'm going to go back up right about there. Then I'm going to turn my work around, and I'm going to come in here. I'm going to come back up at the bottom of that stitch, wrap the thread, and pull through. Then I'm going to anchor, and you could anchor right there if you'd like. I want it to go just a little further out. And then I'm going to start this one right about there. And you could put these a lot closer together if you like. This time I'm going to leave a little space there. And then I'm going to anchor here. Okay. Now I'm going to travel. Need to take care of that. I'm going to travel back up to the top in these stitches so that I don't have this kind of thing flopping around the back. I guess you could call it just a housekeeping thing. All right. Now I love to do heart stitches. So a heart stitch, I'm going to make a dot there and a dot there, a dot here and here. Kind of like a Y. So I'm going to come up at bottom. Wrap. Think of it kind of like a chain stitch. Don't pull too tight because then it just gets angular. Doesn't have that pretty, you know, that thing. Okay. And I'll be back. Okay, I have different thread here. This is 839, and by the way, I'm using a number 1 milliner's needle. And this is, I don't, it's some kind of cotton. I don't know exactly what. It may be a type of linen, I think. So I'm just going to fill this in with some backstitch, and then we're going to lace it. With the red. If you want to do this and follow along, you will then have a sampler. And you can make notes for yourself. You'll have this. We did a backstitch, stem stitch, chain stitch. Then we did a Portuguese knotted stem stitch and Palestrina knots. We did a fly stitch. I did not do a wheat ear. I could, but we're going to do a laced and we're going to do a whipped. And then we'll see. So I'm going to lace it with the red thread. And there's several ways you can do this. You can go up here. Let's just do a couple up there and back here. And you can kind of leave that. You can tighten it, but let's just leave it a little bit. And then go through the next one. Then you can also go back here, and then back up here, and back down here and under that one. There's so many different ways you could lace the thread through those stitches. And then you could tack those stitches down. Trying to remember how I did the one, let's see, to think about this a minute. Because it looked like, that's how I did it. Up there, back down here, and up here, and then back down here. Can't really see that well, but maybe I'll take it out. That's what I'll do. I'll just take it out and do it again. So it looks pretty, because can't have it not looking pretty. Okay, I'm going to go back down this one. No, I'm going to skip one and go back down this one. Then I'm going to go up this one. And I'm going to skip this one and go back down this one. And leave it loopy, and then I'm going to go back up this one next to it. And then I'm going to skip this and go down this one. And there we go. Okay. Next, I'm going to end this off. Okay, this one I'm going to do just a straight stitch there. Then I'm going to come back up here, and I'm going to do a chain stitch. I just remembered other stitches I wanted to show. So many, so many, so many. Okay. Just end this off with a little back stitch there. All right, this time we're going to whip this stitch. So I'm going to come up here at the top of my chain stitch. And I'm going to go under that chain stitch with the eye of the needle. And let's just go under this one more time. And then move to the next one. Now, because my stitches are so big, I could actually go through each one twice. In fact, I think I'm going to do that. You could go through them one time, and then you'd definitely see the different colors, or go through them 2 or 3 times and just fill it in and make a nice, this is also good for stems, like if you're doing a sunflower stalk. They're nice and thick. This is a good stitch for that. I wouldn't do 2 different colors, I would just do the same color. And you can whip I'm going to go over this and back there. You can whip a chain stitch, a back stitch, a stem stitch. You can whip a running stitch. Okay, now I end this off. I'm going to carry on with this blue. I had told someone in the comments one time that we would do some dimensional embroidery, and I couldn't really come up with a design to do just dimensional embroidery, but this is dimensional embroidery. We're going to do a padded satin stitch. So let's start with a back stitch up one side. Then I'm going to go back down the other side. I'm not going to follow this pattern though. I'm going to go a little bit closer. Let's turn the work. Let's see, I need to draw this in there. So you know, for a satin stitch, you just do stitches that would fill it in. Like I could do a back stitch, just fill all this in. Okay, that would be your satin stitch, but I want to do a raised satin stitch. This is dimensional embroidery. I don't know if this is really stump work. I haven't figured that out yet. All right, with a padded satin stitch, it doesn't matter that those stitches are all uneven. That's the padding part. I'm just going to go down one side and up the other, down really close, up the other side. Now I have a space here that didn't really get filled in. So I'm going to go back there, fill in that spot. And I'm going to try to get my stitches here even, like this. This line, I want that to be really even. And this line down here, I want those both to be really even. Okay, I have to get more thread. Okay, so I finished this up. So I forgot to mention that I changed color because these are dimensional stitches. This is a dimensional, so the next dimensional stitch that we're going to do is because this is a padded satin stitch, now we're going to do a raised stem stitch. So with a padded or a raised, with a raised stem stitch, you're going to do bars like this across where you're going. Okay, I think that's far enough. Now I'm going to come up here and I'm going to do my stem stitch on the bars. So I'm going to come forward. For the first one, I'm going to come forward 2 and go back 2. And again, I'm pulling this direction. Now I'm going to go forward 3. So 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to go back 2. And again, pulling this direction, keeping the thread above my work. I'm going to use the back of my needle, go back 2. forward 3, back 2, forward 3, back 2. And now that I'm at this end here, I'm just going to go down into the fabric, and I want to start at the beginning again. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to travel through those stitches just to keep the back kind of tidy. Then I'm going to come up right next to this stitch. Again, forward 3, back 2. Pull this direction, thread to the top. Forward 3, back 2. Pulling this direction, thread to the top. Forward 3, back 2. Pulling this direction, thread to the top. Forward 3, back 2. Now at this point I'm going to go down to the back, and I'm going to travel under these stitches, just because I don't like the threads hanging in the back. And then I can kind of push these up, push them sort of together there. And you can see the dimension on these stitches. Forward 3, back 2. Pull this direction. Forward 3, back 2. And because I have 6 strands of embroidery floss, it's going to get packed in there really tight, really quickly. And you can kind of see, you can really see all the different lines now. I'm going to go back to the back again. Travel through the back. If you wanted this to look really smooth, you could use two or three strands from the DMC floss. I think I can get one more. I'm just going to use the point of the needle. Nah, maybe I'll try this. Oh, I don't even know if I was on camera. All right. Keeping the thread to the top, pull that direction, forward 3, and back 2. Forward 3, and back 2. All right. So that is the raised stem stitch. Now, I'm going to just fill this in with a little bit of stem stitch. Oh, let's go. I just want to end this off. I'm not going to go up. I'm not doing that thing. Now I want to show you one more cool thing, which was not part of the plan, but I have to. I just have to. Okay, I'm going to use this brown here. And I'm just going to do a couple of back stitches here. Just to fill in that little thing there. Then I'm going to do 3 chain stitches, and we're going to decorate those. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with my red thread, and I'm going to whip one side. It just adds a little color to that one side. And if you use different colors, you can imagine all the possibilities. Like if you had white or like off-white thread there and you did red, then that would look cool. Okay, I have my green here. I'm going to come up here. This is a detached buttonhole stitch. See? Now I'm going to pull up this way in sort of this direction. Not too tight. Then I'm going to go next to it, wrap the thread, and then I'm going to pull this direction. And again, and this looks like, this is very cool looking with white thread. It looks a little like, looks sort of like lace. And usually I count, and I forgot to count. Doesn't matter. Looks like maybe 5. Let's do one more. I think I can shove one more in there. Then I'm going to come down to the back of the fabric to anchor that. Then I'm going to come back up really close to where I came out. Wait, let's skip that one. Oh, I just had another. Let's skip that one and do this one. I just had another thought. You could use a cable chain stitch for lettering. Okay, and there's that. Okay, I'm not going to do more stitching. I had this idea that I would, but I'm kind of running out of time. I want to show that I wanted to share this with you. You can get this at www.antiquepatternlibrary.org. It says 2020-06. Now, I can't tell you how to find it there. There's a lot there. I'm going to put this for free on my Ko-fi site, so you can just download it for free. You're not paying for the pattern. It's a free download. You could take these, see all the dots there? You could either fill that in with seed stitch or French knots or that stitch that we just did. You could do a satin stitch or a padded satin stitch, or this way the raised stem stitch. You could do flowers here, little detached chain stitches. It has, and this is 17 pages. I didn't print it all out. This is one of the pages. There's several pages like this where there's just patterns for you to do. Look how pretty that is. Here's another, the whole alphabet. And it does have the entire alphabet that you can, and you just put your fabric over top of it, and yeah, here's another page. Love it. So put this on my Ko-fi site along with this, and it'll be called Stitches for Lettering, or Lettering Stitches, or something like that. Anyway, and it'll have this photo, our little stitch project. And I might fix this up a little bit so that looks more like a T. That'd be cool. Anyway, that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. Bye.